Greetings. You're just enrolled in English 218, Introduction to Children's Literature. I'm your web host and instructor, Jeffrey Nishimura, Professor of English at Los Angeles City College. Now, before we embark on this journey down this rather fascinating genre, I want to prepare you for what is in store. You can find the syllabus presented on this site, and you'll see a variety of different and diverse literature that we'll cover. Read it at your own leisure. The one thing I do want to point out is that this is an online course. It's going to require you to meet deadlines and submissions, due dates at a particular time at the end of the week. All of the grading will be based on responses to discussion questions, quizzes on the readings, just to make sure that you understand the material, and an online presentation. I'll explain that when we get further down into the course. The major requirement for you is self-motivation. Now, there are a lot of readings in this course, a lot to prepare for. My advice, just keep up with the readings. Pace yourself. You have to do that, particularly when it comes to an online course. The pacing is controlled by you. So, my advice, just do the readings, enjoy them, and you will be fine. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, how difficult can the readings be? I mean, seriously, these are children's stories, fables, nursery rhymes, maybe a short novel, but all of them are written for young adults. I could probably do the entire readings in a couple hours. Yeah, sure, these are simple stories, following a basic formula of good versus evil, or protagonist and pearl, fanciful absurdists, most definitely, but nothing hard. Green Eggs and Ham, for instance, has fewer than 50 words. Most of those words are one syllable, coming from a vocabulary list meant for a 5-year-old. Well, that's what I thought when I first taught this course a few years back. And I was given this course because I just had a newborn, and I would be reading these stories anyways to him during bedtime, so what the heck. But the more I read the stories and reread the stories, the more I realized how complex and rich all of these tales are. I mean, these are the stuff of legends, literally. They are descendants of myth. These are folk tales that have a cultural impact on our lives that have lasted for centuries, ever since humankind told tales. And they continue to exist because we pass along these stories to our children in the form of development. These are the stories they are hearing from us as they prepare to read, as they prepare to develop their mind. And these are the reasons why these stories are so significant today. Now, even if you're familiar with these stories, or seen the Disney versions of them, I want you to reread them again with a critical eye. Now, the book for this course, it's a big one. It's called The Cross Currents of Children's Literature from Oxford Press. Okay. Now, you're probably saying, well, this is intimidating. Probably cost a couple $100. You know what? I have my own books on my children's bookshelf, so I'll just use that. Well, there's a purpose of why I chose this particular anthology, and it's not as expensive as you think. But the theory in there is priceless. There's two theorists that we're going to be looking at in particular. One is by Bruno Bettelheim. The other one's by Maria Tartar. Both of them are significant in the analysis of children's literature. There are articles in here on genre, on storytelling, on culture, on gender roles. And this is the angle that we're going to be looking at these rather simple tales. Of course, I want you to use the books on your children's bookshelf. That's fine. In fact, I encourage you to use it. You'll definitely need a copy of Alice in Wonderland, right, by Lewis Carroll. Try and get the version with the John Tynnall illustrations in it. You need to be familiar with, books like Cat in the Hat, Mother Goose, Winnie the Pooh. Some of them are in the anthology, some of them are not. And you will need a copy of The Tao of Pooh by Benjamin Hoff. Some of you might have this. If you don't, it's a good book. You can pick this up at Amazon for rather cheap. Then there's resources that you need to be familiar with. Sigmund Freud's copy of the 5 stages of child development is useful. There is A Meal on Education by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. You don't have to read the entire thing. I just want you to be familiar with it. If you have a DSM book, that might be helpful in the psychological portions of the theory. I will have a majority of the additional material online connected to the links, and this is the reason why I love online courses, is the link part. Majority of the material, I'll be doing these video lectures on occasions, but majority of the material I'm going to give you will be written based. So there'll be text online. This is after our literature course. They will have links attached to some of the words and phrases, and from those links you'll be going into a wormhole into the internet, and I'm sure you'll find some fascinating and very interesting and valuable resources that will be proven useful for your final presentation. And this is the desired skill I want you at coming out of this class, is the research portion of it. Make sure that you have a good MLA grammar book to base your ideas on citations. But I want you to explore, and I want you to utilize the internet as a avenue for that exploration. So as you can see, we have a boatload of material in this class, despite deceptive, innocent subject matter. However, I don't want to overwhelm you on the very first day, so let's just start with a little self-introduction. I want you to go to the discussion page. There'll be a series of questions. And these are getting to know you questions, and the best way to do that is really to find out which children's books influenced you when you were younger. And I'll meet you on the other side with my own experience of children's books when I was young, in order to lead into a greater discussion on the impact of this genre on our lives. So I will see you soon.